Can everybody see? Yes, I can see, I think. Just checking, just checking. Just wait a little while. Am I even straight? Probably not. I don't know what happened then. It came on and then went off again. Anybody there? Is there anybody there? Just wave, say hello. I'm hoping it's going out. I do not know what's going on. Hello. Yes, Gabrielle, it is. Only because I don't want to clash with All That Glitters. So I thought 6:30. And then everyone's got half an hour to get themselves together and grab a drink. And then they can watch All That Glitters on, I think, is it BBC Two or something? So that's why I thought I would start early. So I'll be starting at 6:30 all the time. I should have said last night, really, shouldn't I? On a babble dabble, but I didn't think about it. Oh dear. So yeah, I just thought I don't want to clash with them. So I'm so hot. Whew. Really hot today. What are we on now? 2 minutes. I don't know if anybody else is going to come in. They should do. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I enjoyed it, actually. It was good. I just, obviously, I had to rush a little bit because of the funeral and things like that, and I didn't want to clash with that either. There's all these things going on now, you know. So yeah. So I hope you are all good. I think there's 2 people in. I think. I don't know where everybody else is, but I'm sure we will get some more in. So yeah, probably probably when I'm halfway through. So today I'm going to be doing about art journaling and things like that, which you know, I love doing anyway. So that's what I thought I would do a little bit of today, and use some of the jelly prints that that we did on the first Babble, not Babble Dabble, the first Tinker Tuesday that I did. So I thought I would get along and do some of that. So I'll just wait and see if anybody else pops in. If not, then we will just crack on. It does say there's a few more people in, so if you want to just say hello, that would be great. So what I shall do is I am going to bring you down and bring you down to my mat. So if I bring you down, right, so I got a new mat, everyone, so you don't get the glare from my glass mat. So that is pretty cool. I got it from Sizzix. They reduced it down to £7. I actually got this as well from Sizzix as well. This was £2. It's really cool. You can put different attachments on the end, and this is a really, really cool piece of kit. So art journaling. What is art journaling? Well, art journaling for me is a nice little outlet to kind of be creative, try out ideas that you've been thinking about. If you want to get your feelings down on paper, it's a really good kind of stress building or stress releasing even thing to do. Now then, if I open this up, it's going to be your way, my way. Let's have a look. I think if I open it that way, you'll be able to see it better. Yes, you will. You will. It's not upside down. So this is my very first art journal, but it's also what is called a Fauxbonichi. Now then, let me just... I cannot remember a Fauxbonichi. Let me just... Fauxbonichi. Okay, so a Fauxbonichi is basically a Hobonichi, and a Hobonichi is basically a fake Hobonichi, and a Hobonichi is a planner or something like that. And a Hobonichi, let me just see, go on, where is it? A Hobonichi is a life book. It's a planner notebook that you can use as freely as you like and will adapt to lifestyles and to anyone using it. So basically you record what you've done in your life or in your day or anything like that. And this kind of was my very first one, and it is literally just a book that I got from the pound shop, and I washi taped each 2 pages together. And if I just do a quick flick through, this is from 2005 to 2015 to 2016, and I literally did it month by month. So I planned out the month in the first kind of page, so did like a month spread, and then on every page I basically wrote about and drew pictures and kind of documented and journaled what I did that day. This is my little picture of me that I did. This is my kind of my little cartoon character of me. So as you can see here, there I am again, and there I am again with Tom. So it's just kind of like popping things in. Like I went to go and see Oh What a Lovely War, so I put the tickets in there. We went to go and have lunch at Bill's, you know, kind of just little things like that. And this is what I started off doing, and I was using my stamps, and you know, I wasn't very well that day, so just doing different things like this. And then I had a go at some Zentangle. There is a lady in here somewhere. I did a full, there she is. That was my very first go at Zentangle. And, you know, so I basically drew her out and then used her dress and everything like that. Yes, it is a posh word for a diary. Yeah, that's very, very true. So that was my first kind of dabble into Zentangle. So this is just, you know, I went to the NEC that day and I was given these. So it's just a nice little way of kind of memory keeping in a roundabout way. So that's the first one. The second one is I moved up into, I thought I'd try something a little bit bigger. This is a Moleskine, and basically I tried something a little bit different this time. So I was using my stamps, using my inks on every day, and just kind of documented my day this way. So I tried to express myself and try and stress relieve and things like that through art and through my stamps and whatnot. So this is just, you know, just like drawing as well. So if I wanted to do a little bit of drawing, I could. And it's just a great way of kind of releasing a little bit of stress. So there, obviously I was talking about the daffodils coming out, and then just I think this was the yeah, there was the terrorist attacks in London. You know, there's just kind of all different things in there, and you know, we had to, I was a part of a group, and there were certain challenges that you had to do. So then I kind of progressed from that to And I'm going to a bigger, as you can see, my medium's got bigger. And hi Laura, hi Matthew, how are you? So this is like just a normal notebook as well. And again, I've just done the same thing, but this time I kind of really went for it and was experimenting with different mediums, printouts. This is just like little pictures that I've done. There's magazine, there's loads of different layers on here. There's doily magazine, bingo cards, all kinds of things. This is a picture of my dog that I did. My husband calls it cartoon dog. I'm very well, thank you. And here I've just loaded up a whole load of different things and just basically just playing with texture, colour, composition and things like that. So that's where this kind of moved on to, you know, using glue guns and kind of just really going for just a lovely, just expressing yourself. So, and then I moved on to that kind of thing, and then obviously from there on in I have actually moved on to like smaller, again gone back down to smaller ones. These are ones that I did last year when we were just going into lockdown. And so I just wanted to give you like a kind of either a brief history of my art journaling and, you know, what art journaling is. It's basically, you can use all sorts of mixed media. So in this particular page here, I've used card, I've used paint, I've used stamps, I've used die cuts, I've used chain, you know, there's inks, all kinds of things going on in here. And then, you know, there's I've just used book page to layer up on here. So that's another one. And then lastly, I've just got a small one here that I usually take when I go on holiday or something like that. So I've still got something to work on, so I can just do little sections like so. And as you can see, this here I've just used a cut up magazine, so went through magazine sections and picked out different magazine bits and pieces. This is one I started and I didn't like it, so I shall have to redo that. So I am going to take one of our jelly prints that we did at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to do a couple of different things with these. So what I've got is just one of the jelly plate prints that we did in the beginning, and I don't know if you remember the other week when I did the yes, I do go back and look at the older ones, Gabrielle, actually, because it kind of re-inspires and reignites different things, and you kind of think, right, okay, I tried that this time, I'm going to try that, but then add something else. Obviously, the more experienced and the more regularly you do things, it's like anything that you do, like jewelry making, or if you're a knitter or a crocheter, you always want to try and push your creative boundaries a little bit further, and sometimes it's just nice to kind of do that. So the other week we did the wind chimes, and I was showing you how to use napkins. So these are just, I mean, it's not a napkin, it's a tissue, but I've just taken off, this is a 3-ply, so we've got 1, 2 and 3. And what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to, this is what we call fussy ripping, and I'm just going to rip around these Klimt images. Go careful down there, and I'm just going to rip around that one there. I'm probably going to put one there and kind of take inspiration from the actual tissue itself, and I'm just going to rip that there. What I might do is get a bit of book page as well, so we can have that bit down there, and then maybe have that kind of there, something like that, maybe have that one upside down. But I'm going to get some book page, and I'm literally just going to tear some book page and we can glue that down. So I'm just using a bog standard PVA glue again, and I'm going to use a brush, and I'm literally just going to paint directly on to the paper, the book page there, and then we're just going to glue this down. So initially we did the jelly prints and we thought, oh yeah, they're brilliant, but now we're just using the jelly prints as a background. So I'm just going to paint over that, and we are literally just going to, this is where the art journaling kind of takes off. I love it because you can just play about with magazines. As I said, if you've got old books, you know, the charity shops are open now. I love going in the charity shops there and having a look to see what old books there are to pick up and things like that. I do only usually tend to pick up old books that are already falling apart. I'm not one for destroying books that are still intact. I just think it's a respect for books that you should have, really. As an avid reader myself anyway, I love books, and I just think, you know, to destroy a perfectly good book is not great. But if it's already falling apart, then I don't mind as much. So I'm just putting on this book page. Okay, and I am just gluing that down. I've got the window open again as well, so if you do hear anything. Right then, let's get this popped down. I'm going to do a couple of different ones, so we're not just going to concentrate on one. I mean, you don't even need to do glue. You can literally just doodle if you like. Laura Binding and Gemma Crow have done the alcohol inks and the doodling. That in itself is kind of like an art journal. You could use that within your art journaling as well. So you could doodle how you felt that day or anything like that, you know. So all of these things kind of do interlink with each other. I'm just popping this down directly onto the paper. The reason I'm using the Klimt is because of the actual jelly print itself. I thought it lent itself quite nicely to the theme that we're kind of going for. And I love doing it this way as well, because you can layer up, you know. So if you wanted to do a couple, you know, you could just start doing this, layer it up, and then let it dry. And then you can crack on with your next piece. And then you could back these onto card if you wanted to. You're all right, Nancy. It's okay. You could back these onto just packing card or anything like that. And then you could use them, or you could put them onto a canvas. It's really nice art journaling on a canvas, because then you've got something that you could then hang up as inspiration. Just got that bit there that's a little bit annoying. Yeah, I know it's not a great thing, is it, books being destroyed? But if they're, like I say, if they're on the last legs and they're falling apart, then I don't, you know, I don't mind too much. Oh dear. No, do you know what though? Why not? If that's how you wanted to do your book, your page, then that would be how you would do your page. And that's why they're so good, because then you can kind of look back on them and, you know, you can kind of see how either your mood has changed, or situations in life have changed, or just kind of things like that. I'm just going to stick this one down on here. I love Klimt. Klimt is, along with Mucha, one of my favourite artists. I love all the colours that he uses, and, you know, it's just a fantastic... I mean, I've got a tile upstairs that my auntie gave me for my 21st birthday actually. I need to get it out of the loft and get it on my wall. Oh, that was my lid. Now I need to find that afterwards. I must remind myself. Just gonna paint that down. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So we can, I just thought I would show you as well, just obviously you can do this in your art journal if you like, but I just wanted to kind of use this and do something with my jelly plate, jelly prints that we did, you know, so you can kind of get an idea as to what to do with them. So I'm just going to pop this down as well. And then what you could do, if you've got any gesso or something like that, I have got some, but obviously I need to let this dry first. You could then go over it with white gesso, and then you can go over it with any of your inks, your paints, and then create more layers. So then you don't actually have this as the main feature. You can just have it popping through in little sections. And I absolutely love that as well, because you kind of get little snippets of life. So just keep going. If you find that you're doing your art journaling and you think to yourself, oh, I don't really like what I've created there, put it aside. Sometimes I find if you put it aside, go and do something else, and then in a couple of hours come back, sometimes you'll look at it and go, actually, that's not bad. Or you'll just say, no, I need to do something else to that. And then you will just kind of get re-inspired and do something else with that. Oh wow, I do. I love Klimt. Absolutely love Klimt. So that's kind of where we are with that at the moment. Let's see, is there anything? I don't think there's anything else really I could do with that right now. So I'm just going to pop that over to the side just to let that dry off a little bit. And then we've got this one here that I've got. So this was one of the mop-ups, I suppose you could call it. And we've got this little girl here that we can cut out. So as I say, you can literally just cut anything out. These were just images that I got on the internet and just printed them off, and I've had them kicking about in my stash for ages. So I'm just going to quickly cut her out, which I probably should have done in the first place. You can use stamps, you can use anything that you know, household items and things like that, which you'll be able to see in a little while. You could use toilet roll holders, like the cardboard toilet roll holders, because you can use them to stamp with as well if you've got any of your stamping inks or anything like that. So bring that down to there, and then I'm just going to finishing cut her hat. Like so. So she's going to be one of our main features. But I've also got a stamp here. So even though we have already done a little bit of stamping on here, I am actually going to go in and do a little bit more stamping. And actually, I'll just leave it on that section there. So what I'm going to do is I've got this stamp, and it's from Kaiser Crafts. Or Kaiser Crafts, and well, I don't know, well, that's what it kind of looks like. You'll be able to see it in a second. It's basically like a little bit of a mixed media kind of stamp. I'm just going to push a little section of that into there, like so. Lift that off, and then I'm just going to lightly push onto there. So we're literally just making up a few more layers onto our sheet, like so. Just doing a little bit more there, just adding. It's a bit like if you see some graffiti on the wall, you see that there's always like extra layers of graffiti where people have gone back in and done more graffiti. So that's just a nice little kind of look there. I'm actually going to come in with a few more paints, I think, and I'm just going to use the tools that God gave me, my fingers, and I'm literally just going to pop a little bit of this paint. This is a water-based stamping paint by Imagination Crafts, and all I'm doing is I'm just going to go in and do a few little splodges over what we've got. Like so. I'm just literally letting the artwork speak for me. So I'm just creating a little bit of, it's a lovely shimmer paint. So as you can see there, we're just building up more and more and more. A little bit of this bronze. Like so. So I'm going to put this just at the top here. A little bit of the bronze just at the top. You can use paint brushes if you like, but sometimes I think it's just nice just to kind of get involved with the artwork. So then you know that you've, had a, let your expression go. It's very hard to explain. Hello Anna, how are you? And then I'm going to do a bit of black, as we were just talking about black. I'm just going to do a little bit of black. It's more like a gunmetal grey actually once it hits the paper. So it's just a nice extra layer. And then we've got the old trusty bubble wrap again. And I'm going to put the lid on there. And then we're going to just put our bubble wrap into the stamp. And I'm going to push that down onto there. And as you can see, we are literally just building layers. So if you were doing the alcohol ink course, you could then build up on that as well. Obviously if you're using the I think, is it the Yupo paper that they use, then obviously you'd have to use a solvent based ink. No, I do not throw anything away, Gabrielle. You should see our garage at the moment. It is horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Right, so now we've got that, I might pop her just inside there. I'll use my glue here. Just going to paint her on. I should have picked up some magazines actually. The thing is, that's something as well. I mean, the only magazines really that I get in this house are my husband's an engineer, and he gets like engineering magazines, like a monthly engineering magazine, and that's the only kind of magazine that we get. Sometimes I'll get Vogue or something like that but because of the internet, you don't really get stuff like that anymore, do you? So I'm just going to cut out this saying, and it says be fearless, because you know what, you got to do something that scares you every day. And when I wake up in the mirror, morning, I look in the mirror. So that's my scary thing every day. Oh dear. So I'm just going to glue that onto there. And then I might use a little bit of a stencil. Here I've got my, well, yes, and the price of magazines. You're not wrong there, Gabrielle. You are not wrong there. Right, I'm just going to get, I'm going to use this one, this stencil. And I think I am going to go in with the black ink as well. And this is just an old shaving brush. So it's literally just an old, it's like a, I don't know what bristles they are, but I just use one of those. And all I'm going to do is go round and round and round. Might even be better to do this with, I'm just going to do that with this, I think. Just dip my finger in. Let's go for it. We're here to tinker. Let's tinker. And I'm just going to push that through the stencil, holding the stencil down. If you want to, you can use some washi tape just to hold it in place, but you know what, right now I'm just having fun and laying down layer after layer of goodness. It's kind of like building an outfit. You put your base out, like your normal clothes on, and then you accessorize, and they're like your finishing touches. So it's like the hundreds and thousands and the, I don't think they are badger fur, because they're from Wilko's and they were like 60p. So I don't know if they are. I'm not 100% sure. So there you go. We've got like that on one side. And I'm probably going to do the exact same thing just down here. Now, obviously with design, if you notice within nature as well, you can, you know, everything is odd numbers. So plants, botanicals and things like that, I think they are usually odd numbers, but within design anyway, you always have odd numbers. So we've got, that's why I like to do things in either 3s or 5s. And then I'm going to pop this just up here, halfway down. We'll do the same again. Now, I don't know how this is coming across on camera. No, I don't think it is anymore. Like I say, I think it's just like a, I don't know what type of hair it is, but they don't sell them anymore at Wilko's because they were 60p, and I've got one for virtually every ink pad that I have. So I'm just going to do this like so, and obviously my hands are going to be filthy, but there you go. So I've kind of built up a few more layers onto there, and if you wanted to, you could get a pen and then you could go around the edge, you know, and create like a little bit of a frame, a little bit of a scribble. Then you can bring that along and frame up your piece. So again, we're using all different mediums. You're using paper, paint, inks, pen, stamping inks, stamping paints, and then just going to do the same around this. So do that. Like so, and then if you wanted to, you could do little circles around the kind of the dots that we've done with your bubbles, like so. So you could do something just a little bit different. And as I say, then that's when the doodling comes in. You can then start doodling away and away and away. If I put that up that way, then you'll be able to see it better. So that's that one. And also we can kind of go in with more stamps and create a little bit of a scene. So I'll move that one out of the way there. And we're going to create a scene. So here, this is one of the waist pieces that I had. So what I'm going to do here with this one is I've got some acetate, and I'm going to create a little bit of a kind of fairy, picture. Now all I've done here, if you've got packaging or anything like that, you can use that as well. This is basically, I've just created a mask, and we're creating hills and valleys. So I'm going to get my black ink and we'll place that just on the underside like so. And what we're trying to create here, no, that way, I do apologise, it is that way. So it's the other way because we want these to be the hills and the valleys. Oh, that was nearly right then. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go in. Just going to get another piece of paper. Because it's a new mat, I don't want it to get dirty just yet. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of paper there, just in case I go over. And we are going to use the black ink and our brush. Now you can use the makeup brushes. You can get the really big ones that are like this. You can use that for blending as well. And I'm pretty sure I've seen them on places such as AliExpress, eBay and the like. Yeah. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, Wilko's, when I was a Redcoat, that was where I used to get all my bed linen and things like that for my chalet. So I'm just gonna create a little bit of dimension, building up the ink. And because this is like an acetate, you can actually go onto the acetate with your ink and then pull it down. So then you're creating a really nice hard line, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So I'm just going to bring that down, bringing the ink just down away from you. So you'll see once I move the acetate what I mean. So as you can see now, we've created hills and valleys. So then we can go in again with our template, switching it over. And what I'm going to do is bring it down just to about there. And where there's the white, yes, that is the thing, isn't it? Going in for one thing and then coming out with everything else because you see it's such a good idea. So, and then if I move that away, now you can see we're creating this fantastic, the hills and the valleys. So this is, remember, this was just a waste piece from our jelly printing. This is what I used to clean up the jelly print plate. And this is what you can create from it. So do not, if you have got a jelly plate, do not waste anything. Do not waste anything. Okay, I think that's probably going to be okay for our valleys and our hills. So I don't know if you can all kind of see all of that. And I'm just going to go in to the underside there now, just to darken that up a little bit. But we can sort that out in a second. So now we've got that. Now, these are a great way to create Christmas cards as well, if you wanted to do something like that. Absolutely fantastic. Right, next, I am going to go in with some stamps. Now, I've got these stamps here. Now, I've got two different companies. I've got Lavinia stamps and I've got Inklicious stamps. So this Inklicious, I am going to use, and this is what that looks like. It's kind of like a little meadow, and I'm going to use this just to stamp down in here to bring you into the foreground. So it's all about, did I get my stamp block out? No, but it's right here, so we are good. Right, my stamping block. Pop that onto my stamping block. Now I really will definitely need my paper. Okay, so the inks for this type of work, Nancy, these are a water-based ink. So if you are going to be using water, you can kind of basically use them like watercolors. If you are working with inks such as your alcohol inks and things like that, these are the best, you know, if you're colouring in as well with alcohol markers. Like this is a Memento. You can use Adirondack as well, and any of your Ranger, the Tim Holtz distress inks that I've got here. These are a water-based ink, and they're great to use with your alcohol pens, and I would assume alcohol inks. anything else, so these are good for porous surfaces such as paper, wood, etc. Your non-porous surfaces, you would use a StazOn ink, which is I think I've got one here. It's a solvent-based ink, and that is what that looks like. It's StazOn, and it's a solvent-based ink. So if you were going to stamp onto acetate, glass, or anything like that, anything non-porous, StazOn is what you want. And then if you're going to be doing embossing, so if you've got embossing powders, you're going to use a watermark stamp. Please do not judge me. It's going to look like that. And these are for if you're heat embossing. So if you've got, like, you would stamp this, pop your embossing powder over the top, take off the excess, and then you would heat emboss it. So there are, I can always do an actual Tinker Tuesday and show you all the different inks. Actually, I think that would be a good idea. So I will do that in the future, Nancy. I will do a Tinker with inks, and then we can have a play about with loads of different inks. So I'm just going to, because I actually need to get some new ones. Yeah, I think that one's running out a little bit. Let's see if I've got another black ink pad. I went to Hobbycraft yesterday and they had nothing in. Absolutely. I mean, obviously I know we've only just come back into out of lockdown, but goodness sake, I was like, crikey, they have got nothing. Nothing. And this isn't one of my favourite inks, but it'll have to do for today. And then you can secondary stamp, because then that gives it that bit of perspective and depth. So I'm just going to Inca Tuesday, yes, but not in Peru. Right then, so I've created a little bit of a foreground there. So we've got a little bit of a foreground. I'm going to pop that back in its packet, because if I don't, I will lose it and then I will get mad at myself. I have got, there is there, right. Oh, I have got inky fingers today. Oh, we've only got 15 minutes left. Right, need to get cracking, Right, I just quickly pop that into there. There we go. So, what better than to create, did I not bring out my, oh, I didn't. Anyway, so I'm going to now use these, actually, no, I do need to get it. I need to get it. Yeah. I'm just getting my stamps out. I was actually getting these out earlier on when I was talking to my sister, and I didn't get the ones out that I needed. Would you believe it? Well, you probably would, because this is Katie Reed and it's just the way she rolls. Oh, and they're not even in that one. Ah. Oh well, never mind. Doesn't matter. We'll just get on with this. We haven't got long. You kind of get the idea anyway. Oh, actually, what we will do is I'm just going to create a little bit of a moon as well. So I'm just going to, this is just a little bit of card that I've already cut out. And I am going to do the moon. Or maybe we'll do it like a little sunrise. And all I'm going to do with this is just, it doesn't look like I'm doing absolutely anything, does it really? All I'm going to do, it's really simple, but so effective. So effective. So have we been out to the charity shops yet? If you if you are interested, I do have another channel, and I went out to the charity shops on last week and I popped that up on Sunday, and then this Sunday you get to see what I purchased. Right, so if I lift that, there you go, you've got yourself a little moon now. So we're kind of creating a lovely little scene. I do have some, we'll put some fairies in here as well, because why not? In fact, we could have her just sitting on there, and then we could then later on, obviously not now because I haven't got the stamps because I'm an idiot, we could have her sitting. I could then either draw in the branch and things like that. So I'm just going to ink her up. She is inked, and I'm just going to pop her on there like so. Yeah, you're right, there is nothing anywhere. Oh well, she'll just have to stay like that. I really do need to get some inks, as you can see. And then you can go in and just create a little bit of a tree, colour that in. You can go around what she's sitting on and then just colour her in as and when. And then you've got the tree sitting out there. So you would then just use one of your black pens just to colour that in. I am not sitting here and colouring that in because that would be so boring. And you could just have a tree there, and then you've got like stars and whatnot for that kind of thing. I really did think I brought out those stamps, but obviously, oh, I did. There they are. Well, there's some of those. Let's do some of the stars, and then we can wrap up, because I'm conscious that I don't want to eat into anyone's time, to be honest. I'm just going to pop that on there, and then so now I've just inked that up, and then we can do a little bit of so there you go. We've got the beginnings of a little bit of artwork there that you can kind of play about with, you know. So if you wanted to add some more different coloured inks and things like that, you could do that. So we'll just a bit more. This is like peacock feathers, so you could add something like that across the top. Like that. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that, and then we can go into a little bit of pink. Again, we're just playing with colours, but yeah, I think I'm going to do that, Nancy. I will do 1 week with like your water-based, what you can do with your water-based inks and things like that, and then we can, I think that would be quite fun, because then you can see what different inks do what. So as you can see there, we've just literally turned something that was a little bit of waste from our jelly prints into, so that, you know, you could really turn into a lovely piece of artwork. Think about it on a card, a piece of card. You could do a get well soon. I would then do, I was looking for the foliage that you could then bring down further, so then you've got different layers. So you've got the hills in the distance, you've got your meadow, then you've got your trees, so it's like you're looking through the trees. So, and then we've got this one here, which is a little bit more modern mixed media, and then we have got this one here, which, you know, you can build up and up and up on. So this is just some of the things that I like to do with my art journaling. I couldn't think of what it was then, so I shall just bring you back up. They are Lavinia stamps, so I will send you the deets. But yeah, so that's basically, and then that's what I do when I do like my ATCs. I've got here's some of the jelly prints that I've been doing on a Rolodex. So I've got like, I've been making Rolodex cards, and well, I actually don't have a Rolodex machine. I do just literally just, I've made it. I think I've got a video of it there, and I think it was Nancy, you said about the Rolodex stamps over, not stamps, die cutting pieces in America. So oh, thank you very much, Gabrielle. Do you know, I just think that crafting, there's so many aspects and there's so many things that interlink with each other. You know, you could do that on watercolour paper, for instance, and then you could wire wrap a bangle and then pop that around a bangle. You could put it into resin, wear it as jewellery, so you can wear your art. And I think that that is a really, really nice way of doing it. You could then turn it into a cabochon. You know, if you had it on a glass dome or popped it onto a cabochon, you could then use it in your seed bead embroidery or something like that. So it's a really, just mix everything together. It's a really good way of bringing all creativeness together and creating one piece that's amazing. So thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to pop on over again and watch my live. Next week you'll have to watch this space because I really don't know. Oh, actually, no, I do know what it is next week. Next week, I am going to be showing you how to create faux leather. So that's what we are doing next week. I need to get myself down to the pharmacy to get some glycerin. That is the trick. So next week is going to be faux leather. So yeah, thank you so much. And I will see you next week. Have a great week. Stay safe and always be creative. I shall see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.